Hello, I'm Peter Cullen. I play the part of Optimus Prime, a role that I did play back in 1984 and 85 until 1986 in the movie. This is really exciting to be resurrected and to be in the Transformers video game, and I'm proud to be a part of it. I'd never really done a mechanical character before. I certainly didn't understand the concept, so I was totally confused. I just gave it my best shot, just said, this is what I think a leader should be, you know, and I got it. But when I do Optimus Prime, I employ, you know, facial resonance and chest resonance and down here, boom, you know, I try to vibrate these areas in my body, and which gives them that, and then I use a little more breath control and stuff. But there's an interesting quote that is, peace is the right of all sentient beings. That was one. Hold on to your dreams. The world is built on dreams. And I'm wondering if that perhaps wasn't one of the reasons that it was so successful, you know, that kids had something to think out outside of the box that wasn't everything they'd seen before. So, get hooked on it, get good at it, and roll on. Autobots, transform, and roll out!
I'm Tim Miller. I'm the creative director here at Blur. We get calls all the time to do the pre-rendered high-res intros to games, and it's sort of it forms a couple of different purposes. It gets the player excited about playing the game, and it also, you know, shows you some story elements that you might be involved in the game. We've got a long relationship with Activision, and we've done a lot of stuff with them. They're always great to work with. So when they said Transformers, I said, okay, we're in. Don't worry about the budget or whatever the story. We're in. Giant robots? Okay, we got it.
I'm Dave Wilson. I'm a CG supervisor over at Blur Studios. We would get models from ILM. Some of those characters, I mean, have like upwards of like 300 to 500 moving parts. That was the sort of challenges in this one. When working on Transformers, you know, different areas require different specialist people.
The shot that I was most involved with was the shot where the Brawl character turns from the tank form to his robotic form. What I did was I just brought the very high-resolution robot model and the tank model, started moving them around, and very kind of stop-motion style, started splitting up, figuring out what part would go where.
Scene assembly is basically everything except animation, pretty much, and putting shots together. So we kind of start out modeling environments, setting up the lighting, texturing, and even working on the characters a little bit, and then doing the rendering, the compositing, and just putting the final shot together.
The supervising animation is also doing layout supervision, which is the beginning stages of the project, where you're actually laying out shots, rough animation, supervising artists and animating as well. Here's a rough of Cybertron, so we'll start doing a rough camera, rough movement, and then we'll start taking the shots into the edit, so we can start to get a feel for our pacing of not only the edit, but also the timing on the character's movement.
This total thing was somewhere around 900 man days. So if you figure one guy did this, it would take one guy about 4.5 years, I guess, to do something like this.
Activision brought us over to have a look at the game early on in the process. I think it looks great. We actually worked in some of the stuff that we saw in the game into our piece. When we were talking to Daniel Suarez over at Activision, one of the things they were really excited about is that the Transformers themselves in the game can like pick up anything and like smash the other guy. You know, the transformations themselves all look really cool. The stuff they do in the game looks great.
My name's Shia LaBeouf. I played Sam Witwicky in Transformers the movie, and doing the same in the game. The game's cool, man. The game's crazy. You're not just robbing cars to drive cars. Your car is a fighting machine traveling at 80 miles per hour on the road. It's just fun to be in control of something like that. Especially for Transformers fans, it's a given. The game is insane. But for fans of video gaming, period, it's just fun to destroy entire cities, you know? And it's just mayhem and destruction and carnage. It's fun, you know? And then you're fighting other robots who are just as big as you, and it's a fun game.
Autobots, transform, and roll out!
Peter Cullen's a Transformers god. You can't really make a Transformers movie without him. I know that as a Transformer fan, it's like making, you know, it's like making Die Hard without Bruce, or, you know, Indiana Jones without Harrison Ford. You need Peter Cullen. He is Transformers. We were on set, and the Activision guys were there. I was eating my Jell-O, and they're over there talking about all these games, and immediately I'm super geek, clicked on. Oh, you guys like games, huh? Yeah, well, we don't just like games, we make games. I think somewhere along the line, it started coming up like, hey, would you be interested in being involved in making a game? If your likeness is going to be in the game, would you like to be that? And of course, you know, who doesn't want a video game made with them in it? It's nuts.
Well, my name is Frank Welker, and I'll be playing the role of Megatron in the Transformer action game. I originally landed the role of Megatron on a general audition. They had all of the characters, all these drawings and models, and the sign said, you know, pick 3 or choose whatever you want to do, you know. So, I mean, I just tried them all, but I saw Megatron and I just fell in love with that instantly. This was an opportunity to try something, you know, a little bit more villainous. I really do love Megatron. I love doing Megatron. I wanted to create a character that was unique. So, I mean, I've done a lot of different characters, and some evil, but mostly good. So, I mean, having an opportunity to play a villain and then trying to make him different than others that I've heard. I wanted to hook onto a sound. And here you have this incredibly large mechanical being, and you know, what's happening with him? Why is he so angry? There's obviously pain from something going on, and then just his size and the physical sound of metal. So I wanted to get that kind of quality into this voice. And so as I started thinking, I said, well, no, I need more. Like, it's painful almost to listen to it. You either hate this voice or you like it, but when you go into a room, you're gonna turn around when you hear it. You are the last thing standing between me and my destiny, Optimus Prime.
I'm Megan Fox, and I play Michaela in the Transformers movie. The story of Transformers is there's an alien race of robots, essentially, who are battling over something called an Energon Cube. The Decepticons want to turn all of Earth's machines into robots as well to basically eliminate the human race. So the Autobots are trying to stop that, stop like a global takeover. And somehow, Shia's character, Sam, gets sucked into helping the Autobots, and I get sucked into helping him all through coincidence. Shia is one of my most favorite people that I've ever met in my entire life. He's just really amazing, and he made my experience on set a lot of fun. He's a brilliant, amazing, dramatic actor as well as a comedian. I just think he's gonna have a huge career. I love video games to begin with, so I was really excited to see it. I had no idea what to expect, but to start your game off as BumbleBee or any of the Autobots and go around the city and do things to help people, it's kind of fun to then go back and destroy everything that you fixed as one of the bad guys, because all of the Decepticons are really sick. They're really cool robots. It's so surreal to be included in a video game that I myself was gonna play anyway. Now I'm gonna play it and I'm in it. Obviously I wanna do my own voice work instead of someone else, but it was an honor to be asked to do it.
Well, for Megatron, when I went in, I imagine you went through the same process, but I went into the audition room, and this is my favorite kind of auditions. They have all the models or the drawings of the characters on the table, and then a sign says, pick out the ones you want. Megatron stood out, and I read the description, and they said, evil, but, yeah. So, I mean, I picked that character, and then I started thinking, well, you know, I want to make him memorable. And like we're doing so much work, you've got to separate your voices from all your other characters. And I'm thinking, well, you know, he's metallic, and he's evil, and he's angry, and maybe there's some hurt in there, and throw in some things that make him sound a little more agitated and angry, and something that will be a little harder for him to steal from me later on, which you know damn well he will.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
I'm shuffling through the pages, and I finally, you know, BS, BS, my line, BS, BS, my line. All actors. I get to the point where I'm I'm getting killed by them, you know?
Most of the time you get your scripts way in advance and you study them. Here's two guys sitting at the bench with a donut and a cup of coffee going, "You kidding, I kill you?"
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was kind of a shock, and we had no idea what that meant. I mean, that meant a lot to a lot of people. I mean, there were some kids that were very, very shocked by that.
Yeah, well, we didn't know that.
We didn't even know it. We were both a little in shock to see this tremendous fan base.
If it weren't for the fan base and the racket they made on the internet, somebody would be playing me and somebody would be playing you like a harmonica. So who do you think would have played me?
Danny DeVito.
My name's Callum Godfrey. I'm the producer from Activision UK working on Transformers the movie with Traveller's Tales. When I first got the call telling me I'll be working on Transformers the game, I was absolutely gobsmacked, for lack of a better term. All the thoughts of what could be for Transformers were just racing through my head, because obviously the Transformers IP lends itself incredibly well to a video game.
When we set out to develop Transformers, we set 3 key goals for ourselves. One was scale. These characters are 30 feet tall. They're huge. The second one was destruction. So when you're walking around a city, being that big, you're like a big bull in a china shop. You run down the street, you're gonna make impacts on the ground. If you bump into a building, that building's gonna get destroyed. Things are gonna shake. The last piece was transformation. That's the one inherent thing that really stands out about these characters.
The animators have done a fantastic job where the animations look so fluid. I sit there playing the game and I just want to keep transforming the character just because it looks so good. The physics in the game is also quite advanced. We're also able to handle lots of particles, lots of creatures and advanced AI. So the world around you feels like it's alive.
There's definitely a lot of expectations that come with developing a brand like Transformers. There's still a lot of people out there that really care about the franchise and what people do with it. When people come out of this movie, they're going to want to go and play the game and recreate those amazing movie moments. Seeing Optimus Prime and Megatron fighting through the streets, smashing through buildings, smashing through cars, and then when they go out and they pick up the game and they can reenact that entire scene. So in the game, we've got 9 controllable characters. We've got 4 Autobots and we've got 5 Decepticons.
So what we've done is basically given the player the opportunity to basically pick their side. Are they a good guy or are they a bad guy? Are they an Autobot or are they a Decepticon? Do they want to protect the Earth or do they want to destroy it? Depending on your choice, you get a different set of characters, different set of storyline, different set of environments, and a different ending. What happens if the bad guys win? What happens if Megatron really destroys Optimus Prime at the end of the game? You get to find this out. My favorite thing about this game is that it really delivers to the Transformers fan. Not just the movie fan, but the fan that grew up with Transformers in the 1980s, either watched the TV show, read the comic book. I think what we've been able to do is really deliver on those key characters, Optimus Prime, Megatron, that whole sort of that team structure of the good and the evil, and really deliver them in a really fantastic way. This is the quintessential Transformers game.
My name's Flint Dilley, and I was a writer and story editor and producer on the Transformers show in the 80s, and now I get to work on the video game. Well, I got involved in the Transformers game when I got a call from Dan Suarez, and he called me up and said, "Hey, is it true that you did the Transformers back in the 80s? You did the movie and the show and all that?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I didn't know that. You never talked about that." Well, yeah, I really did that. And he said, "Well, we're doing this over here. You got to get over here. We're gonna have fun." You get the movie script, and they say, "Hey, come over and read the script, and we're gonna make this into a game." And the script's always really secret, so you go in, at gunpoint to a secret room, buried somewhere underneath the studio, and read the script. And inevitably, what happens is, a movie's a movie and a game's a game. And you realize you can't literally translate the movie into a game, and probably nobody would want to play it anyway because they already know what's going to happen from the movie. So you walk this interesting line of, let's follow the spirit of the movie, let's follow the important plot beats of the movie, but let's throw in the other stuff that gamers would want to do that movie viewers wouldn't necessarily want to see. You can, for a game, it can be, one long fight between, Autobots and Decepticons, and everybody's perfectly happy. That might not stand up in the movie theater. And so ideally what happens is the game builds on the metafiction of the movie. So it just gets bigger than the sum of the parts. There's the movie plus the game, and all this just gets to be a world. Somewhere sitting in the molten core of all this is this intellectual property that people like. And if it's big enough and it's strong enough, it can be games, and it can be movies, and it can be comic books, and it can be novels, and it can be toys. And everybody can be happy with any one of these, you know, or all of the above, but it's like these pieces of the puzzle. And you realize that we've just gotten into a much more sophisticated world. You know, so that's the real lesson here, is all this is one big medium, and what you really have to concentrate on is just the intellectual property core at the center of it.